Hey, everybody. Good evening and welcome to tonight's edition of Cave with Christopher James. I'm Christopher James. Hope you guys are ready to have a good time. We got a couple of great guests tonight, and we're going to jump right in. I just want to remind everybody Island Fights 63, July 25th, back in Pensacola. The green screen is acting up again today. I don't know why. I'm going to blast StreamYard really hard after this because they keep saying it's on my end, but I've got bright lights, I've got great cameras, and it's all on their end. So fuck them. Fuck them, StreamYard, you motherfuckers. But while we're doing that later on, and I'll keep you guys abreast of that, what we're going to do right now is we're going to bring in a young man. I met this man through Combat Night when he was an amateur, and he's continued to work his ass off. He's a pro now. He's 6-1. He fought on Fight Pass this past Friday night at Titan Fighting. He's a Titan fighter, man, and he's doing big things, and we're going to bring him in right now. So please help me welcome to the show for the very first time, Christian Ynastrilla, joining us on the show tonight at Kate's with Christopher James. Christian, what's going on, buddy?
Good, brother. How are you doing? Just got finished with some training, so what you been up to?
Oh, I'm just living the dream, bro. I'm just, here working and getting to talk to fighters all the time, and, I love my life. I can't complain. I mean, we got this COVID bullshit going on.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. But, other than that, it's life, man.
Yeah, what can you do?
So, give us a little update on before we get into your fight this past Friday night. Tell us what's been going on in your life, with the pandemic. How's your training? How's your familia? Representing Hialeah out there. You know how we do. So tell us a little bit about everything that's going on in the life of Christian right now. And while you're doing that, I may not be looking, but I'm listening. I'm going to, share this video out all over the place and get some people watching because they need to see and they need to meet you.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, during this pandemic, it's been a little rough. The job, I have a job at the airport, and that I haven't been working in for like the past couple of months. So I've been able to focus a little more on my training. So that's, been something good. I've been putting in a lot of time into my training with just like my two coaches, Carl Darbuz and Chris Navarro. We've been putting in a lot of long hours, and I feel like during these months, I've been improving a lot. I've been getting a lot of more like just one-on-one training, I think, with my coaches, and I feel like we've been filling up a lot of holes in my game and just making me a more well-rounded fighter. And I feel like I was able to show some of that this past Friday, and I feel like I'm just getting better, and I look forward to like the future to keep showing more and more of me as I keep getting better in this game, But that's other than just training. That's what I've been up to during this whole COVID thing. There hasn't really been much else to do, so I've just been training, going home, training, and just pretty much having that on a cycle. So that's what I've been up to.
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun, man. Tell us how the training goes when you can't get all the stuff in that you want. Because I know it's going to be difficult. Just like every other fighter out there, there's a little break in the training because some people don't want to train, they're worried about getting COVID and all this stuff. How has that affected you as far as growing as a professional athlete?
Yeah, it's been a little tough. I'm always used to training with a lot of different people, a lot of high-level guys, always seeing new faces and things like that. And during this time with the COVID, I've been training with the same training partners, but the way I've looked at it is just, quality over quantity. I've trained a lot with one of my best friends and like a brother of mine. His name is Richard Jansen. He's an amateur 135er. He's 4-2. He's about to go pro. He's giving me a lot of good work. I've been training with another friend of mine, Justin Corrette, who has a long boxing background. He's helped me a lot. So, and then my coach, Chris Navarro, he's also a former pro fighter, and he's a 135er. He's a black belt himself. So I've gotten a lot of good work with him and with my striking coach, Carl Darbuz. So it's been a small group of us, but I feel like we've made the most of it, and I think it's going to show with each fight. But yeah, it's definitely been tough. I'm so used to training with different people and things like that. But we've made it work. With the few people that we have.
Did you ever think that you were going to get to this spot? I mean, Titan is one of the bigger regional shows in the country. Working with Lex McMahon and all those guys over there. Did you see yourself getting there, or did you ever have any doubts? I mean, because and if you did, it's okay because you know what? Everybody has a little doubt here and there in their life, and there's nothing wrong with that. And that's just being honest with people, So tell us, was there a point in your career, coming up through the Amis where you felt that, maybe, this isn't for me? Did you get discouraged?
For me, it was probably after my first amateur fight. I wasn't training at American Top Team. I was training like just at some random boxing gym, and I was doing jujitsu with like a friend of mine that was a purple belt at the time. I was doing with him like once or twice a week. I wasn't training the way that I should have at all, and I went into that fight and I did horrible. I lost that fight, and I remember after I started telling myself, I was like, I don't even know if I meant to do any of this, like, because I was always passionate about it, but I went in there and it just went horrible. I lost in the first round. And then after that, I kind of just my closest friends at the time, they just told me like join a good MMA gym and then really try to make a run at it. So that's when I found the American Top Team, Miramar, and I joined over here. And then I started competing as an amateur in 2015. And then I started getting a little bit of a win streak. I won the amateur title for Combat Night. I had another split decision that I lost after, and then I came back after that, and I went on another 5 or 6 fight win streak. So I've had some ups and some downs, but I've always told myself that as long as I stay consistent and I keep working hard and I keep trying to improve every day as a martial artist, I know that I don't really see any like limits for myself. I really feel like I can go as far as I keep putting the work in. I've been really thankful to be on Titan. I didn't think I'd be on Titan this soon, so that's something that I'm very happy that I've gotten to do, and I've gotten to perform on UFC Fight Pass, because I know UFC Fight Pass is just there's millions of people watching, especially like after this fight. I've had like at least 50, 60 people like sending me messages saying that they love my fight. My fight's been getting reposted on different pages and stuff like that, and people just commenting. I had like a cool moment where one of the people that I really look up to in grappling is Eddie Bravo, and he commented on the video of my submission, putting like certain emojis, like commenting to it. So it's been just really cool and really like a blessing to get the fight on UFC Fight Pass. I really think it opens up my name more and it exposes me more to a lot of people, and that's something that I got myself into this sport because I want to get the biggest opportunities possible.
Well, I mean, getting a shout out from Eddie Bravo is nothing to sneeze at. I mean, that's pretty fucking
Yeah.
good, man. So congratulations on that. And I respect your honesty, because sometimes I ask fighters that question about having doubts and having, fears that, they were going to make it or they weren't going to make it. And you just called it out. You doubted yourself a little bit, but you put your heart and soul into what you're doing. And in turn, you were able to, excuse me, just said a little bit. I was cutting my own head off. But you were able to turn that into a respectable professional career right now. You're 6-1. I have the fortunate knowledge of working with you at Combat Night. Like I said in the opening of the show, where I saw you develop. Before you became a pro. You were an amateur with Combat Night for quite some time. Tell us the difference for you fighting amateur, and working with Mitchell Shamali and Richard Cox and all those guys, and Ramsey White and Randy and the whole Combat Night family, of which they'll always be a part of my heart. But tell us what it was like, now that you're a pro, you're 7 fights in. Tell us what it was like, the differences, from that last amateur fight or from your first amateur fight. Let's go from there to your first professional fight. And, were the jitters, tell us the whole thing, because I think it's going to be an interesting story.
Yeah, I mean, for me, Combat Night was probably one of my favorite promotions to ever fight for. I have a lot of love for Mitchell Chamali and just everybody that is part of Combat Night. I feel like when you're an amateur, I think the best promotion that you can fight for is Combat Night. I really feel like all the fights that Mitchell gave me really like prepared me to become a professional. I felt like every fight I had was a tough fight. I feel like a lot of the guys that I fought in amateur are current pros right now. So I feel like that was something that really was the experiences that led me to become professional. I think the biggest difference for me was when I first saw the 3 to 5 minute rounds. Because I remember at first I was like, 3 to 5 minutes isn't nothing. And then I remember when I was getting ready for my first pro fight, we had a day where we were doing 5-minute rounds of sparring, and I was like getting dead tired after the first round. I'm like, why the fuck am I so tired? And I was like, oh yeah, it's the 5-minute round. So I think that was probably one of the harder things I think to get ready for, because I think a lot of times in the amateur fights it's like a sprint. When you're doing those 3-minute rounds, it's like everything's happening so fast, it's just a sprint. When you do those 5-minute rounds, it's a lot more like a marathon. It doesn't sound like it too, because it's just 2 more minutes around, but it makes a huge difference. And I remember my pro debut was for Bellator, And I remember for me, like,
you were your pro debut. I got to back you up.
yeah,
Your pro debut was at Bellator outside at the racetrack, and I remember I was pissed off when that happened because Mitchell put up a post that he had to find some fucking cardboard because Bellator
yeah,
didn't even have mats for you guys to train on and to like warm up
yeah,
on. And so you were out there with a piece of cardboard like an old school break dancer trying to fucking get some fucking warm ups in, man. I mean,
yeah,
that's fucked up. So adversity hit you in the face right there in the beginning of your very first pro fight. And
yeah,
again, you're fighting for Bellator. Now, and you know, I want to clear it up to a lot of people. You know, people go, oh man, you know, he fought for Bellator. Well, listen, Bellator, what they do, and this is no slight on Christian, what they do
yeah,
is they book a card somewhere, you know, in a city, and then they'll find some guys that, you know, they need to fill the card with some pro fighters. So they take guys like Christian and they pay him like, you know, 200 and 200. Hey, you got to fight for Bellator, but you know, you only made $400. You know, I mean,
yeah,
so, but the fact that they did pick you says something that they said, all right, man, this guy, you know, we'll give him a run. So, you know, congratulations on that. I forgot to mention that because your first
yeah.
fight was in Bellator as a
Mhm.
pro. All right. So anyway, now that we, that whole cardboard incident, the cardboard chaos, but
Yeah.
you get down there to Hialeah, you're at the racetrack, you got nothing but cardboard to train with and Mitchell.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was actually funny. Mitchell cornered against me. He was cornering Chris Daniel when I fought
That's
Chris.
right. My
Yeah,
God, I forgot it was you against Chris, man. Two combat
yeah,
night guys beating the crap out of each
yeah,
other.
yeah. But I remember that one because Mitchell used the cardboard. I actually didn't use any cardboard. I kind of just didn't warm up my grappling at all because it was just grass. So I was kind of a little weird. There was no mats, but I kind of just warmed up my striking. And then I remember that one hit me hard too because about 5 minutes before the fight, I see Rampage Jackson come in the back. I see Dan Henderson come in the back, and I'm like, okay, you know, no pressure, you know, just a couple legends like here at my fight. And then I remember I was also a huge fan of Rory McDonald. And when you look at the floor of the cage, it was, I think when Rory McDonald was going to make his debut at Bellator and it said McDonald versus Lima. And I was like, holy shit, I'm going to fight in the same cage that Rory McDonald or whatever. So I remember, and also taking into consideration how hot it was, I remember when I walk out and I walk into the cage, the floor was sizzling hot. Like I remember my footwork was extra on point that day. I was extra bouncy trying not to
You
keep
didn't
my
want to
foot.
stand on that hot canvas. Fuck that shit.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. I remember as soon as the fight started, the adrenaline took over, and I stopped thinking about it for like a second. I was like, "Holy shit, this is!" And then just how many people were there too. I think that was something because Bellator that day they had done a free event. I think for all the NASCAR fans to go watch some MMA, and there was easily like 700, 800 people there just screaming. It was really crazy, just the energy. So I think that was something really cool. I think, and to introduce me to the pros to fight like on a stage like that was something really cool, and especially against like a game opponent like Chris Daniel. So that was definitely a cool experience for me to jump into the pros against someone like that.
Yeah. So you go down there, you have that first fight with Bellator, and you know, remembering back to your first amateur fight, what was that like?
Oh, that was a mess because I was definitely that was horrible because I wasn't even training at a good gym. So like my coach didn't even show up. Like my coach, he'd been telling me the entire week, like, oh yeah, I'll be there for your fight, blah 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 blah. And then mind you, I'm like an 18-year-old kid, and then he
And he
doesn't
didn't
show
show
up.
up.
No, didn't show up. So I'm like panicking, and I'm like, holy shit, my coach isn't showing up. So I get someone to randomly wrap my hands. I don't even get to warm up. I walk out. I'm like terrified, and then I do absolutely horrible. Yeah, that was a disaster. It was like super unorganized. Yeah, it was not. I remember it was like in this small gym, and we were separated by like a see-through curtain.
Nice.
We were like in this super small room, like the warm-up area. It was probably like the size of this office that I'm in. It was like something
Nice.
ridiculously small. So yeah, it was not the most ideal situation to be in. But you know, we learned from it.
So you were doing Mike Perry shit before Mike Perry did it because you went to the ring with no corner.
Yeah, hey, I did it better than Mike Perry. I went with nobody.
That's fucking crazy, man. So, you know, your amateur career, you know, you had a good run in your amateur career. You turned into a pro. You got your debut with Bellator. And now you're a Titan. You're a regular Titan now. I mean, you are on the roster. You know, that's your home. Tell us about first time you got to fight at Titan, you know, and meeting Lex McMahon and the whole crew, because those are some really good dudes. You know, I've been around for a long time. I've worked with a lot of people. You know, I work at Island Fights. That's my number one home. Dean Toole is a great promoter. Lex McMahon, another great promoter. He looks out for his fighters and he creates a path for them to get to that next level.
Yeah.
He doesn't hold you guys back. So tell us your first experience, the first time you met Lex, because you're a little guy and
Yeah.
Lex is a big motherfucking dude. Like he's a big man. So when you walk up, you go, "Oh shit, that's my boss." Fuck, man, I better I better be all right, man, because that guy can crush me. So tell us about Lex. Oh wait, hold on.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Tell me about meeting Lex, and then I got a question from the crowd.
Okay. Yeah, Lex, I remember the first time I met him was actually at the weigh-in because one of my head coaches, Roger Crawl, he's the one that handles all of my fights.
Love Roger.
I love Roger. Yeah, Roger, I owe everything to. He's one of those guys that's really just been the biggest impact in my life, and I'm always going to be forever thankful to Roger. But Roger was the one that got me, that he told me, he's like, "Oh, your next fight's going to be for Titan." And I was super excited, just to be on UFC Fight Pass. And I remember I met Lex. I think one of the first times I met Lex was at the weigh-in, I believe, for my first fight with Titan. And I remember I saw how big this dude. I thought he was like a professional bodybuilder or something. I didn't even know he was like the owner of Titan. I thought it was like a professional body. But yeah, he was a great guy. I loved how professional.
He's not the owner. He's the boss. I called the owner once. He goes, "Don't get my boss fucking Jeff Aronson mad at me." So
that's right.
Don't get Mr. Aronson mad at Lex, man, because Lex will have to crush you, bro.
Yeah, I'm not trying to get in trouble there. But I remember the first time I met him, he was super professional with me, and I just love everything about Titan. Every time I go there, I get treated very professionally. It feels like I'm in like a UFC environment, and I really enjoy everything about Titan. I remember my first fight, I was fighting an undefeated guy from Tampa, and that was a great experience, I think, for me to fight on Titan FC against someone like that. And yeah, just the whole time I don't have any complaints about Lex. I think he's, like you said, one of the best promoters around. And yeah, I'm just super glad to just be in the Titan family.
That's awesome. So Landon Quinones keeps typing gang. What's he talking about? Gang. Stop it, Landon. Stop typing gang, dude. This ain't a gang show.
That's my guy Landon. Shout out to him. Hey, me and him, we took care of business last Friday. Whenever me and him are on the card together, we do damage. So yeah, Landon's been one of my close training partners too for a long time. Ever since I started training at Sunrise, also with Coach Roger, Landon and me, we've been really close. And yeah, that's my guy. That's my guy. So gang with Landon.
Yeah, Landon, man, you're blowing up the shit with gang. Stop it, man. Justin Sims, the guy does all the video and all the stuff for them. He told me to ask you about. He said you scared the shit out of him on Friday. What the hell happened?
So yeah, when I fought Philip Keller, leading into the fight, I know him and his coach have been talking a lot about saying that they felt like I was a small guy and that he was going to manhandle me and all these other things. And, at the end of the day, it's just trash talking before the fight. So I didn't really pay too much mind to it. But then when we show up to the weigh-in, he comes 7 pounds overweight. He was one of the first guys to weigh in, and it was just super unprofessional. And then he didn't even try to cut weight after. And he kind of he came up to me and he gave me a half-ass apology. And then after the weigh-in, I saw him saying some things about tomorrow. He was just get the double. I don't know. There's a lot of things that rubbed me the wrong way about him. And then also when we were about to fight, the referee, Mike Cardoso, I called us to the middle to say, "Oh, I read you the rules in the back," or whatever. And then he punched my glove when they said if we wanted to touch gloves. So when he punched my glove, that was really the last straw for me. So just when the fight was over, I let out some emotion. And yeah, Justin's camera happened to be the first camera that I let out my emotion on. So Justin did a good job catching the little anger that I had. But yeah, that's what pissed me off a little bit.
Landon's typing here. He said somebody slammed your little ass, but he got choked out. So I don't remember. Did he slam you? Because I don't remember seeing him slam you. And I watched the fight, but I watched a lot of fights after that too. So
Yeah. I threw a hard body kick at him that I know hurt him, and then he kind of ducked a little down, and then I kind of went for a guillotine when he did that. So then he kind of picked me up in midair and took me down. So yeah, I guess he slammed me. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I don't remember seeing a slam. I remember you going down a little bit, but I didn't remember seeing a slam. But I do remember you choking him out. And, nothing like choking another human being out inside the ring, especially at the end of the day when you get cheddar for it, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You're not in the back of a cop car. You're getting paid to do it. It's a whole different world.
Especially not getting in trouble for it. So,
we got a couple of questions from, let's see. Hey, Justin, you don't have to tell me that he's a monster hiding behind this nice guy on your show. I've seen him fight, dude, before you ever met Christian. I know Christian from his amateur days, man. I watched him do some damage. So, but there's a couple of questions. Let's see. Where is it? All right, here's the first one. It's on the screen. You should be able to see. It says, Christian, do you want to fight in the UFC? And if so, how long will it take you to get there from where you are today?
I definitely want to fight in the UFC. Like I think that's where you prove that you're the best in the world. Ideally, for me, I'd like to be in the UFC or ONE FC. Those are one of the top two best promotions out there, in my opinion. And how long would it take me to get there? It's hard to say for me. I think a lot of it's just opportunity. That's why now I'm just trying to stay ready. I just finished training now. But to me, in a perfect world, I would say maybe 2 or 3 more fights. I would say I could see myself being in the UFC or ONE FC ideally. I just want to keep working hard to keep getting better. But I do think 2 or 3 fights or maybe even 4 is a realistic goal for myself.
So, and you're fighting at 25 or 35 right now?
25. My last fight was a catchweight at 30 because I had a couple opponents pull out. So.
Yeah. If you want to go to the UFC, I don't know if 25 is where you need to be, because ONE FC is really doing good stuff with the 25ers, and the UFC is kind of up in the air about the 125 division. So I'm not sure. I mean, obviously that's the goal, but have you thought about going up to 35? I mean, because you say you don't ever walk heavier than 140, 145. So if you went at 135, you would deplete your body less with a weight cut. And you would be at full strength on fight night, rather than dropping 25 pounds to get down there. And, if you do that, you're not 100%. I don't care who you are. You can't recover your body in 24 hours to be at 100%. So, has the thought crossed your mind? Have you talked with Roger about stuff like that? Like, if the UFC calls and says, hey, we got a bantamweight fight for you, and that's your foot in. I mean, do you take that fight and move up to 135? Because you have a better shot of sticking in the UFC at 135, in my opinion, than you do at 125, because that division, even though they're getting ready to redo a title fight there, they're still not sold on that. And, so whereas in 125 is an elite division over there. And, you could become a star over there. I mean, another kid from Combat Night, Troy Worthen, over to ONE.
He's doing big things over there.
And he's doing phenomenal work over there. And he's becoming a star, I expect him to one day come home and, fight in the UFC, but he made a really smart career move from him. He picked up and moved all the way across the world, and he did a tournament thing over there, I believe, to get into ONE, and now he's there, and he's a fixture, and he's winning and kicking ass. So
he is.
Do you follow his path, or do you stay the path to the UFC? Which one do you see getting you elevated faster?
I mean, like, if Roger came to me and told me to take a fight at 35 to get my door into the UFC, I would do that, but I would not stay at 135 pounds. I feel like I'd be a little undersized at 135 pounds. I've trained with a lot of 135 pounders, and bare minimum, they walk around at 155, 150 pounds. My training partner, Rick, he walks around at 160, so I definitely know I'd be undersized at 135 pounds. I definitely think I've always set a goal for myself. I don't want to be one of those guys that's like trying to go up a weight class. I've always had to set a goal for myself that I want to be one of the best flyweights in the world. I've seen that the UFC has been signing some new flyweights, so I guess that's something that's up in the air. If let's say I get a few fights in the flyweight division in the UFC and they cut it, and then I go to ONE FC, I'm okay with that too. But I think flyweight will always be my home. I don't ever see myself going to bantamweight.
All right, my buddy Forrest Daniels wants to know who's been your toughest opponent so far in your MMA career, and why was whoever it is your toughest?
That's a tough one. I think.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on before you answer that. Guys, you're watching Cage Side with Christopher James. We are live from the Cage Side with Christopher James studios, and sponsored partly by our friends at End Still Nutrition and Proper Nutrition of Gulf Breeze. We are talking with Hialeah's own Christian Ynastrilla, joining us right now from training. And Landon Keown has just said, he goes, Christian can't live away from Hialeah. So, so he's already saying you ain't going anywhere. Like, he don't think you got the, because you'd have to move overseas to go to, ONE. You'd have to live there. You couldn't, go back and forth. It would be way too financially disabling to travel back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. You would have to go over there and do like Troy, But hey, the cool thing is Troy, so you got a roomie.
Yeah. I mean,
But anyway, so who's the toughest opponent in your career so far, and why is that person the toughest?
I would say it would have to be either my fight with Edwin Surya or it'd have to be my fight with John Arce. I would say those are probably two of my toughest fights. And why? I think Edwin Surya, it was a big, I think, bump up in competition that I had at the time when I fought for like a regional title when I fought against him. And me and him, we went the distance. I felt like I edged him out in a decision. The judges, they ended up giving it to him. But I felt like I learned a lot from that fight. He was just a very tough, gritty guy. I hit him with a lot of shots. I rocked him a few times. I had him in a couple deep submission attempts. And he was a very tough guy, and he just kept coming forward. So I feel like that was something I learned a lot from that fight. And I feel like John Arce is another one that I want to mention, even though I won that unanimously. I felt like I went for a lot of things on him, and he kept coming back. I remember round 1 was probably one of the best rounds I've had in a fight. And round 2, he started putting it on me a little bit. And then I remember I had an injury in that fight. I threw a kick, and he checked my kick really good. So it was like in that fight, I had to kind of adapt and not – because I was throwing a lot of leg kicks, and those were working. And I had to, in the middle of the fight, stop doing that and change my game plan around. So those are probably two of my toughest fights for sure.
I've come to the conclusion that Landon Quinones is your biggest fan. He's like going, that dude tapped to the armbar. You got robbed with Saria. You murked that kid. Coach Dougie Fresh in the house. Christian can't stay away from Hialeah. Man, he loves you.
Yeah, hey, Landon's one of my favorite guys out there. Hey, Landon's my favorite featherweight, though. Oh, and lightweight now. Because now Landon's a champ now. Landon be jumping weight classes, so.
Damn, a champ. champ in the house. So you got this big win Friday night. You're getting some more media attention. That's why I wanted to reach out to you and have you on the show.
Yeah.
You're doing bigger things, and when I messaged you about it, you're like, thank you so much. And, for, putting on my show is, a regional level show. I mean, you see my show though. I talk to all the big guys in the UFC, plenty of them, but I talk to everybody and I like to, and, you've done the work now. And I'm hoping that not just me, but other media outlets are going to start, looking at you and picking you up and giving you some, opportunities to grow your brand. Now, when it comes to growing your brand, what do you got in store for us, man? Because, you can't just be a fighter today. You got to have something else. You got to be sexy. You got to, you got to have a cause. You got to be loudmouth and an asshole. You have to have something else. No, you do. I mean, you look at the guys and the guys that are making the big money, even if they're not winning all their fights. Look at Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz gets paid. Nate Diaz doesn't win all his fights, but he still gets paid. He worked himself to that. He's got this, cult following him and his brother. Conor McGregor, of course, you can't be Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor is Conor McGregor. Masvidal, 3-piece in a soda. Mike Perry, and these guys get paid because of their brand, because of their personality. They're polarizing figures, as well as high-level professional fighters. Mike doesn't win all his fights, but Mike continually gets new contracts from the UFC. You know why? Because he goes out there and he fights hard, and he creates a buzz about his fights, every single one of them. He's always, up on stage at the weigh-ins, face off, screaming, trying to pull somebody's pants down like he did to Max Griffin. He does silly stuff. He says crazy shit in the media, but at the end of the day, when it's work time, he goes in and fights. So what's the gimmick that Christian's going to bring? I mean, and don't go Cejudo on me either, because I can't stand it.
I haven't really put too much thought in that. I think for me, what I always try to pride myself is really being an exciting fighter. I think one thing about me that I think is going to be different from a lot of the flyweights is I am always looking for a finish. And I think my record speaks for itself. I'm always going to be looking to put someone away, whether it's by submission, whether I'm trying to knock you out, whether I'm trying to TKO you. For 15 minutes or 25 minutes, whatever long the fight is, I feel like my style, I have a very complete style. I feel like I can strike. I feel like I can wrestle. I can grapple.
Right.
And I feel like my intention is to put the guy that I'm fighting away. And that's the intention I have every time that I fight somebody. And I feel like I've shown that and so far in like 7 pro fights into my career. And other than that, I feel like as far as like any gimmick, if it comes naturally, it will. Like, especially when people trash talk me, like, I don't know, it just brings out like, I think, a darker side of me that it's just naturally in me. So I really feel like especially when guys try to talk shit to me, I think that's when you're gonna get probably a different side of me that probably people are more entertained by. At least certain fights that people have talked trash to me, and I get a little wild up and a little angry. I get more focused, but like just the way I act after everybody starts like kind of asking, because I'm always the quiet kid, so people are usually like, "Where the fuck did that come from?" Kind of like how Justin was saying after the fight this past Friday, that where did that come from? Because I'm usually pretty to myself and just like focused on like my training and stuff like that.
All right, so let's say you and I are fighting. Let me see the top of your head for a minute.
Yeah.
Did you cut your hair? Didn't you have more hair?
Yeah, I cut my hair a little bit. Got to trim it down a little bit. Yeah.
All right, so you and I are fighting. So we got to promote this fight. So I'm going to come at you sideways, man. Look at your fucked up hair, man. You got a fucking bitch ass fucking fight. You fought a shitty promotion all the way through your fucking career, dude. You fought tomato can after tomato can after tomato can, and I'm going to beat the fuck out of you. How do you respond to that?
I don't really talk before, to be honest. I mean, to me, it's just something more that I laugh at. And then I kind of just, I think the main thing I just say is on fight night, I'm going to fucking show you, because I think, I don't know, I never really take into pre-fight trash talk. I remember one guy that really pre-fight trash talked me a lot. Like, he was tagging me and shit and just fucking constantly trying to bug me. It was Chris Daniel. And I felt like when the fight came, it was fucking pure fireworks. Because especially when you talk shit to me, you better get ready to fight me because I'm going to fight you. And it's going to be a fucking scrap. Like, I'm not going to go in there and, like, swing wild hooks or anything like that. But my level of focus and my level of commitment is going to go times 100. So that's usually how I look at it.
All right. So we got to figure out, between now and, as you continue to evolve and Roger, can help you. But we got to figure out how Christian is going to brand himself, because being a 125 fighter in the UFC isn't enough. You have to come out. I mean, Henry Cejudo didn't get no pop, no play, even though he's an amazing fighter. So he came out and became Triple C, and he started talking shit and calling everybody out. Then he finally started to get pop, and he finally started to get paid. So, you have to. And again, I'm not trying to turn you into one of those guys, because you can't be them. But you're going to have to bring something with you, especially being a flyweight, because the flyweights don't get the respect from the UFC. They never have.
Yeah.
When you got a guy like Demetrius Johnson, pound for pound, second best fighter in the world behind John Jones, as far as I'm concerned, and a 12-fight defense streak and everything else, and he's not main eventing, and he's not making $5, $7, $10 million. His fights don't sell well because he never got the push from the promotion when they should have pushed him.
Yeah.
So what is Christian going to do to force the UFC and others to promote Christian? Because again, being an exciting fighter, that's half the battle.
Yeah.
Like I said, so, have you, I know I'm repeating the question because I don't think you really got to an answer, but have you thought about what you have to do to get your name out there and people go, holy fuck, that guy Christian is fucking nuts. I can't wait to watch him fight. Or that guy Christian is an asshole. I can't wait to see him get his fucking ass kicked, because it's got to be one. You got to get both. You got to get the fans, and then you got to have haters. When you get haters, that's when you've arrived. Ask Mike Perry. He'll tell you all about the haters.
Yeah. I mean, I think definitely, I can talk shit. It's just something that I don't really see the need now for. I think if I were probably like something in the UFC, I think that's maybe where I would try to talk more shit. But I right now, I'd rather just let my fighting do the talking for me. I think kind of like how you said, when you get to a place like the UFC where you talking shit is what adds another zero to the end of your checks, I think that'll be a good incentive, I think, for me to like bring out that side of me. Because I know I can talk shit. It's just something that I'd rather not do, because I feel like fighting is like the most real shit that we fucking do when we get in there. Anyway, we're about to punch the shit out of each other, So, but I think if it's something in the UFC where now you're telling me you're adding another zero to your bank account, it's something I would do. It's kind of like Conor McGregor. When Conor McGregor he first started, he wasn't really talking too much.
When Conor McGregor got to the UFC, after that first fight he had, he started talking. Now he kept developing more and more. He started, letting people know, but as his fights kept coming, he kept talking more, and he kept creating that buzz. You think about this. 6 years ago, this dude was on welfare, eating potatoes every day because that's all him and his girl D Devlin could afford. And now he's he's got so much money. He's got the liquor company. He's got a clothing line. He fought Floyd Mayweather. I mean, he fucking fought Floyd Mayweather. He crossed over from MMA to do that and made bank. But he started talking when he got to the UFC. He didn't wait, and even over in when he was over with Cage Warriors, he was a
Mm.
champ over there. He always ran his mouth. He got in people's heads. So he started young in his career. So when he got here, he had a plan, and he executed it probably better than he ever thought he would, as far as branding and marketing. And he became, an international superstar. So, maybe waiting till you get there isn't, and again, I'm not your coach, I'm not your manager.
Yeah,
So
of course.
I'm just looking out at what I see in the climate of the sport. So maybe waiting to, blow yourself up isn't always the smartest thing. So maybe now it's time. You're 6-1, you'll be fighting in on Titan, on Fight Pass. So maybe now it's time to, create the brand, So, and it's not just talking shit. I mean, some guys don't, go crazy on the shit talk. There's all kinds of different ways. It's the way you dress, the way you carry yourself. I mean, Israel Adesanya talks a little smack, but he's got that dancing thing, and he's got style, dresses it up. Darren Till just straight blows up the internet, and it has Darren Till probably has the best Instagram going right now on social media.
Yeah, I always look at his memes and shit. Yeah,
he made that website, Mike Perry's bum. I mean, and just I got under Mike's skin. Mike's pissed. What he's doing is right, but he's getting the fights he wants. He fought for a title. A few fights into his UFC career. He shouldn't have fought for that title, but he did. Mm-hmm. So, do you have besides the shit talk? What else? What else can you show us, dude? What else are you going to do to make us want to watch you fight besides be a good fighter?
I really got to
think about that, right?
Yeah, I got to think about that. Yeah, that's not something I really put too much thought into. I think other than my training, I don't really put. For me, always the main goal is just to win my fights. I don't really think I put too much thought into what I'm gonna do to make more people look at me or something like that. I really haven't put too much thought into that.
Well, you got to start thinking about that now, dude, because you're at that point. The contender series could be around the corner, because and you want them to remember you for your fighting first and foremost. But if you don't leave them another memory, especially at flyweight, you get lost in the shuffle, because you have to be outstanding fight wise, and you have to be outstanding in the way you brand yourself. So think about that. So when you get off the air, talk to some people, get an idea. Like, I'm not telling you to become the villain, the new bad guy, but maybe that works for you. Maybe you have to be that bad guy at 125. Maybe you have to be the super good guy, dum, da-dum, da-da-da-dum, Mr. Hero, for his people, representing Hialeah, down there and the whole Latino community. Yeah. So there's so much going on, and you have to start thinking about it all now. Like I said, I'm not your dad, I'm not your coach, I'm not your manager,
of course.
but
I appreciate
I've been around this long enough, and I think that the time is now to start, creating the brand. The other thing I'll tell you to do, and you're not making a ton of money right now, we know that, but as the money starts to come, be smart with it. Make investments. Don't just go buy a fancy car and some bling on your wrist and all that stupid shit. Invest, get a house, and maybe after you get your first house, keep that one and then invest and get another house and have a rental property. Create a portfolio for yourself. Work with somebody about paying your taxes properly, because at this level, not so much. But as you elevate, those tax bills become bigger as the paychecks become bigger. And if you don't plan for it, boom, you're broke and you're fucking working at fucking Walmart, stocking the fucking electronics department, in the middle of the night because you didn't plan properly. You're at a perfect spot right now where the money's going to start coming. Don't ever fall victim to the money. Let the money be your victim.
Yeah.
That's my wisdom for the day. So, do you have an eye on an opponent for your next fight?
Well, when I was talking on the mic, I was supposed to fight on this last fight. I was supposed to be fighting for the title against Huáscar Cruz. That was the name that got thrown out a little bit, but I know due to the coronavirus, there was some restrictions to travel and things like that. Right. That's the fight I'd like. I really would like to fight Huáscar Cruz. He's one of the top ranked guys in Florida, and I feel like a matchup between me and him would be a really exciting fight. I feel like it'd be like fireworks, that kind of matchup between me and him. And I'd like to test myself against someone like him who's 10-6, ranked, I think, number 7 or number 6 in Florida in the rankings. And even in the Southeast, he's ranked pretty high. So that's someone, that's what I'd like next,
Yeah,
Ideally, that's the guy I want to fight for the title. Unless if there's some kind of travel restriction, then I'll leave that up to Lex and
they'll figure
Roger
it out.
to figure out who I can fight for the title. But I really want a shot at that Titan FC flyweight title. That's something that I feel like I've worked hard for, and I feel like I want that opportunity of fighting 25 minutes, and I want to go in there and show that I can go 25 hard minutes if need be.
Yep, I think you can, man. Like I said, I've watched you evolve into this really talented young fighter. So, by the way, shout out to UFC star welterweight over down near the Cape Coral area. Shout out to Nico the Hybrid Price. He's tuning in and watching right now. One of my favorite guys to talk to, man. He's got like 5 kids, and all of his kids can beat the shit out of people, and they're not even grown yet. They're all little fuckers, and they can all just like. He had a training video up the other day. Him and his son are punching the heavy bag. Then his son got frustrated. He just walked away, and Nico just looked over, laughed, and kept working. But yeah, you got to watch out for these kids because they'll come up and nut shot you. You know, I'm supposed to go out there and do some kind of documentary video with me and a crew, and you know, I'm going to tell my guys, hey, make sure you're wearing protection. You know, and then, you know, put a cup on because Nico's kids will come get you. They don't fuck around out there on the Nico Price Ranch. So stars in the UFC. Who out there is somebody you really look up to? And it doesn't even have to be, you know, in your weight class or anything, but who's a fighter that you look up to that you want to follow somewhat of a similar path, either a fighting style or how they are in public or same fucking haircut, whatever it may be, you know, who's the person? And it could be a girl too. I don't even give a shit.
For me, there's 2, like definitely my top 2. It's Corey Sandhagen. He's a UFC bantamweight. He's someone that I really look up to, like the way that he fights and things like that, and the way he carries himself. I'm really a fan.
Did he just get beat up?
He just got beat up, but you know,
Yeah.
I definitely think he's gonna come back, and I think he's a
He will.
champion. Yeah,
I just being a smart ass. I pick on your first pick. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, and George Masvidal is definitely another guy because you know I'm born and raised.
Isn't it
Jorge, George, yeah, you know, I guess he got the little Hispanic, yeah.
Yeah, man. And you're Hispanic, right?
Yeah, I'm Cuban.
And
yeah.
you just went full white guy, man. That's fucked up, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a Jewish kid, and even I know it's Jorge. You know, I'm calling you out, man. Turn in your Latin card.
There we go.
Somebody that's great, dude.
Yeah, especially, you know, like just him being here from where I'm from, and like he actually grew up somewhere where my cousins grew up, which is like 15 minutes from me. So like to see someone like him grow up in like the same, pretty much close to the same neighborhood as me, and watch him do what he's done, that's something that I definitely like look up to and things like that. So those are probably 2 guys that I would say I look
he
up
came
to.
from the streets, from being a backyard fighter with Kimbo Slice, and you know, he turned himself into an international star, and he's been at this a long time.
Yeah, over 16 years. That's just crazy.
And he's still whooping ass. You know, that's the thing. And now he's going to sit on the shelf and wait till they offer him the right money. And good for him, man. I'm glad to see some fighters with some, you know, some name power. You know, like Cejudo walked away. It wasn't because he was done with his career. He wants more money, and the UFC wasn't going to give it to him. Now, part of the reason that he walked away as well, you know, they just got his very first girlfriend in his whole entire life because since he's 11 years old, he's been a combat athlete, you know, wrestling, Olympics, MMA. I mean, so he hasn't had time. So, you know, let him go enjoy some ass, you know, have a good time, you know, spend some money on a girl. Don't fall in love, Henry. It's your first girl. There's more out there. Or maybe fall in love. I don't know, man. It's up to you, Henry. You do what you got to do. But just, you know, enjoy your life. But the real reason, you know, he walked away because of money. John Bones is sitting on the shelf because of money. Masvidal sitting on the shelf because of money. One of your teammates, Masvidal's an American top team guy, so he's technically a teammate. Amanda Nunes, another teammate, you know, she's said she's going to think about retiring. What else is there for her to do at this point? You know, there's nobody at 135 that's going to challenge her. You know,
absolutely not.
She don't need to fight anybody again because she's beat them all. You know, people go, oh, Valentina, she beat Valentina twice. I don't care what anybody says if they thought it was close. None of you fuckers are the judges. It doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter what
exactly.
Valentina lost twice, and right now the UFC needs her at 125 to really grow that division anyway. So it would be stupid. You bring her up to 135, she gets beat again, and she'll probably get beat badly this time because Amanda is on such a roll that it would take away the credibility of her as a champion, even at 125. So don't mess with that girl. Let her be. You know, and Amanda and her girlfriend Nina are about to be parents. They're having a baby, so she's got a lot on her plate. But part of the reason she's stepping aside too, money. So now Jones, Cejudo, with 2 belts until they get a flyweight champion. He's still the champ as far as I'm concerned. So light heavyweight, bantamweight, that they're going to be fighting for at this next show. But light heavyweight, bantamweight, flyweight, women's featherweight, women's bantamweight,
and featherweight. Yeah.
And if you include Masvidal's BMF belt, and then if Daniel Cormier wins and he walks away, that's 8 champions that could be gone by the end of August.
Yeah, it's gonna put them in a little bit of a hole. Yeah, it's gonna put them in a little bit of a hole too. Because now, now you gotta make a bunch of vacant titles and shit like that. That's gonna be pretty crazy.
Yeah, and so and none of the titles now. If these guys walk away, if John Jones retires and vacates his belt, I mean, not that I don't think there was any belt in the UFC in the men's divisions that had pure lineage except for flyweight, and now that's gone.
Yeah,
because nobody beat Henry. The bantamweight belt, with interim champion, so that's gone. There's no straight, like Max Holloway talks about winning the undisputed belt. And I love Max Holloway, but he doesn't have the undisputed belt because that was around Connor's waist after he took it from Aldo, and it was stripped from him. So you didn't beat that guy. You fought for an interim title, and then you and Jose fought, but he wasn't the champ. So
yeah.
Same thing at lightweight, welterweight. There's not one belt that has pure lineage all the way down, and right now, and that sucks. And some people don't look at that as important, but to me, that's important. You got to beat the champ.
Yeah, beat the man to be the man. Yeah.
Yeah, Ric Flair. Give me a woo. Yeah. Go ahead, give me one.
Huh?
Give me a woo.
Woo.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about, man. That's just steal Ric Flair shit. Just go start wooing everywhere you go. That's it, man. That's your gimmick.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Hey, right before I walk into the cage, I'll give one. When I walk out of the cage, I'll give one.
Yep, that's it. So, we've got one more thing you have to do. I forgot to tell you, and I always try to tell my guests before they come on the show, especially the first time. There's something I ask all my first time guests to do, and nobody said no ever. And you see my show. I've got tons and tons of guests come through, big stars. So are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. What's
you
up?
got to do what I ask, right?
Yeah. All right, let's do it.
All right. Well, first time guest on my show, I asked him to sing. I don't care what you sing. Singing time. That's right. Look what they put in there. Singing time. It's singing time. My fans and followers love this part of the show because it makes a fighter a little uncomfortable. Unless you can sing, then you don't get uncomfortable. Most fighters, they're like, "What the fuck? I gotta sing." But
yeah, I got no singing in me.
So whatever song you want to sing, you could sing in English, you could sing in Spanish, you could sing in German. I don't care. You could do a TV song, TV show theme song. You could do a commercial, country song, rap music, Christmas music. The only thing you can't sing is "Happy Birthday to You" because that's just cheesy, and people have done that already, so you can't do that. But other than that, hit me with something, spit some bars, fire me up.
I think I'm gonna get some viewers off your show if I start singing, to be honest. But
can you sing?
I can't sing for nothing.
That's okay. Nobody else can either, man. You can rap if you want.
I gotta think of a song on the top of my head. Yeah, I got nothing.
You gotta have something. Don't let the fans down. They're all cheering for you right now. I'm watching the comments. They're like, "Sing, dude, sing." They want to hear you sing.
All right. I think of something. All right. Oh look! I can hit you with that "Baby Come Back" song, and the only part I know is "Baby Come Back." So
no, you gotta hit me. You can't just go "Baby Come Back," that's it. That's bullshit. That's not singing. That's just dropping a line. You gotta sing something. I know you know a song, man. Don't bullshit with me, man. Because even I like "Baby Come Back." I'll give you some of that just so you don't feel so uncomfortable. Baby, come back. You could blame it all on me. There was something, and I just can't live without you. Yes, that's that jam, bro. But you don't even know about that shit, man. So give me a song.
That's a classic one right there.
That's right. It's classic. Do you know who sings it?
No, I do not.
Oh, see,
I'd be lying. I'd be lying if I said I did.
You only know fucking the hook, man. You better give me something else, man. So, come on.
Yeah, hey, I need to prepare for this one. Yeah, I really got to
No,
think
no
of.
preparing, man. That's what makes it fun to throw you off guard. You know, um,
Uh,
listen. What if you're in a fight and somebody comes at you with something you've never seen before? You're going to go, wait a minute, I got to go back and study, or you're just going to go out there and whoop his ass?
just go out there and whoop his ass.
All
Yeah,
right,
you're
so
right.
then that's what you got to do now. Whoop a song's ass, bro. Come on.
All right. All right. I'm gonna give you a little SpongeBob theme song.
What? A little SpongeBob?
Gotta go a
Oh,
little SpongeBob.
shit.
Gotta get something right. Hey, that's a classic right there. So.
All right, but you better sing more. You don't give me this SpongeBob. I want to hear lyrics, bro. Spit bars.
All right. Here we go. All right. So, who lives in a pineapple under the sea? SpongeBob SquarePants. And then I forgot the rest.
No, come on, dude. That don't count, bro.
No, but
Israel
I
can't do said you got your victory croquetas today. You better fucking sing.
I really gotta think of a song. I only know like pieces of songs. Like legit need to like how long do I need to sing a song? I need to know enough lyrics to.
You got to
the
know it
whole
like a verse at least. I mean, give me some. I mean, what do you listen to when you're working out?
Listen to a lot of Eminem, probably.
So you can't tell me that you don't know some Eminem that you could drop out on us, man. 2 Trailer Park Girls said, "Meet me outside." Meet me. I mean, even I know that, dude. And I'm old as shit. I'm like dirt, bro. Come on.
Yeah, no, I got nothing, man.
Wow, man. What do you guys think right now, man? Israel, no more victory croquetas for him. Fucking cut this motherfucker off, man. Fucking, he gets no croquetas, and I like croquetas. The ham croqueta.
Yeah, those are the best. Yeah.
At the job sites when I was a kid down in South Florida, man. See the truck with the silver sides? Oh shit, croquetas! You love that shit, dude. Go nuts! I can't believe you can't give me a song, dude. How old are you again?
24.
And you don't know songs that you listen to on the radio? Come on, man.
Yeah, I got nothing right now, to be honest.
All right. What do you guys think? What do you guys think there? Well, let's see. All right. Can you read that on the screen?
Yeah, I can read that.
Okay. That's the lyric to the song. Baby, come back. You can blame it all on me. I was wrong, but I just can't live without you. Do that.
All right. See, there we go. See, if you write something down for me, now we're talking. But
all right,
for me to get it off.
Wait, hold on, Forrest, give me the next line too.
All right, yeah, you get the next line. That's fine, and put it on the screen.
No, I'm gonna put that right after this, so you can do like a couple. Forrest, give me another line on that song. Okay.
All right.
And hey, what's your walkout song?
Legendary by Welshie Arms.
Are there lyrics?
Yeah.
Do you know your walkout song?
Pieces of it.
Damn, Debbie, that was a great idea for him to sing his walkout song. You don't even know his walkout song, man. Every fighter I see when they got their walkout song, man, they're like out there, they got their fucking, and they're in their van, they're singing it word for word. All right, Christian, man, we're gonna have to work on. We got some work to do with you to get you fucking up to speed. But go ahead, Forrest, give me the next line to Baby Come Back. So right after he does this first one, I'm gonna pop the second one on the screen so he can just keep the flow going.
We're gonna get the whole song. We're gonna get a re-edition with me.
Let's see. I'm waiting for him to. He's probably looking up right now on songlyrics.com or something.
Okay.
He's cool like that. He will. He'll drop the whole goddamn song on us out here. Yeah, man. That's Forrest. Give me the whole lyric. I'm gonna make him sing the whole fucking song, man. Forrest, down. You said you should sing. Forrest, Google it. Give me the lyrics, man. Come on, you son of a gun. You're killing me now. Christian's going, no, don't Google it. I'm going to do it myself. Oh, yeah. You thought fucking you were getting away with something here. All right. So I'm going to give you, you're just going to have to do the whole chorus here. So I'm going to grab this and copy it right now. And then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to open up Facebook. I'm going to go to the broadcast right now. This is going to be awesome. We're going to have a good time with this, man.
All right, let's do it.
I have to go to my, I have to do this while I'm watching the show. All right. And then I just hit enter. So now the comment will come back up on the screen from me, Cage Hour Christopher James. So there it is. That's the That's the whole chorus. So it's and you know the jam, right? You know how it goes, right?
A little bit.
Baby, come back. Any kind of fool could see there was something in everything about you. Boom, boom, boom. Baby, come back. And then you can blame it. All right, so you got to do it. You can do it now. I already sang it, dude. I mean, fucking, you got to be better than me.
Hey, you're the one giving me a show now. All right, here we go. All right, baby, come back. Any kind of fool could see there was something in everything about you. Baby, come back. You can blame it all on me. I was wrong, and I just can't live without you.
Very good. All right, that
There we
is
go.
Christian Ynastrilla. Doing a little fucking. By the way, the name of the band is Player.
There we go. Yeah.
But you did a phenomenal job. Even though we had to force it down your
Some
throat.
some technical difficulties.
No, there were no technical difficulties. You just gotta fucking gotta be ready next time, because next time you come on the show, I'm gonna make you sing again. But I'm gonna give you an opportunity to prepare something for us next time.
Yeah, no, I'll do my homework.
That SpongeBob SquarePants fucking one was weak. You don't even know the song. I mean, if you're gonna do a TV show song, you gotta at least know the whole song. I mean, it's not like.
No, you're right. You're right.
I mean, you can't. That's like I could do songs from the 70s, the Brady Bunch, Gilligan's Island, the Cosby Show, but there's no words to that really. So that's even better.
Yeah, makes it a lot easier, right?
You can do an instrumental, or if you can't sing, you can beatbox. Like my buddy Sherrard Blackledge, he comes on the show periodically. He's a fighter training out of Vegas, and he fights with us at Island Fights. And he came on the show one day, and I told him he had to sing. He's like, I can't sing. He goes, but I can do something else. And then he dropped the sickest beatbox I've ever fucking heard. I was like,
oh shit, that's dope. Yeah.
So my next guest is coming on in a couple minutes. He's running a little late, so I want to ask you about because he's down from your area, Luis Palomino, the Baboon. I know you got to know who he is if you're in Hialeah.
Oh yeah, no, that's a legend. Yeah, that's a legend in the game.
Yeah, I mean, he was the original, and we're going to talk about this when he comes on. But he was the first XFC lightweight champion of the world. I know because I was the ring announcer for XFC, and when I met him, he had the red baboon hair. It was crazy. He's toned that down a little bit, but now he's doing bare knuckle. He's doing bare knuckle fighting, and he's going to be fighting your boy Jim Allers for the 155-pound bare knuckle fighting championship of the world.
That's a good fight. Yeah, that's a good fight.
Tell us what you think about bare knuckle, first of all, and then about these two guys, because I know you know both of them. I can't pick this fight. I have too much love for both of these guys. I'm glad they're both getting an opportunity. I wish it wasn't against each other.
As far as what I think about bare knuckle, I think it's brutal to watch. Like, to be honest, I really think it's brutal. I remember when people told me that MMA is brutal. I'm like, you haven't seen nothing if you haven't seen bare knuckle. I really think.
And they only do 2-minute rounds.
Yeah, to me, bare knuckle's crazy. I think it's fun to watch. Definitely not to be a part of. I don't think that's something I'd ever be a part of. But it's definitely fun to watch the guys how they use their MMA striking, and you get some boxers trying to come into the game, kind of watching guys like Paulie Malignaggi fighting Artem, an MMA fighter and a boxer in a bare knuckle setting. So that was pretty cool. And then as far as Jim and Palomino, I think that's gonna be a really good scrap. I think I have to lean a little bit towards Jim. I think Jim's been the more active guy in the bare knuckle scene, and I think Jim, he's really starting to find his groove and his confidence, especially in bare knuckle, and he's working with a good boxing coach in Kevin Gleason. And I really think it's his time right now, especially just in the bare knuckle scene. I think he's been putting good guys away. I forgot who he fought in his last fight, but he fought a real tough guy in his last bare knuckle fight. He had a really good fight. Yeah, that was a great fight. And I really think he's coming on his own, but I think it's gonna go to a decision. I think Palomino is one of those guys that you're not really gonna finish. I think it's gonna be a real exciting fight when you put both of them in the cage. I mean, in the ring together. I was about to say cage, and you put them in the squared circle together. So,
yeah, he's definitely going to be a beast to deal with out there. So,
yeah.
And speaking of, while we got you on there, let me welcome him in right now before we let Christian jump out. There he is, the man himself, Luis Baboon Palomino. Man, I haven't said that in a long fucking time. How you doing, Baboon?
Great, man. Just look a little soaked. Just got here from my last training of the day.
That's all right, man. Christian was training too. I don't care when you guys come right from the gym, right to the show to train. So me and Christian were just talking about your upcoming fight with Jim Allers, and he doesn't know, he didn't pick a winner, but he did say that going in there and fighting Baboon. That's a guy that's hard to finish. I mean, Baboon doesn't get finished.
Yeah.
We watched him take Justin Gaethje, the best of Justin Gaethje, what he had to offer, and we all know what Gaethje does to everybody. Not Baboon. So before I let Christian go, he's 6-1 as a pro fighter. He's fighting a Titan right now. Baboon, you've been around forever, and we're going to talk about all that. But before I let the young man go, 24 years old, young in his career, what would be a piece of advice you would tell this young man to take with him for the rest of his career?
Well, 25 years old, professional, 6-1.
Yeah?
Yeah.
24.
You're definitely,
24,
you're definitely on the right hand, man. I started training to fight in MMA at 26.
Holy
So
shit.
you're definitely on the right track. You're already doing the right thing, bro. If I can tell you anything, is this game, it can change your life from one moment to another, and it cannot. So always have a backup plan, man. Make sure that you have some sort of backup plan, just in case of any injuries or your career not going the way that you planned it as, because we look at it like we're gonna.
He froze up there. Where'd he go? Oh my god.
Oh yeah, I thought it was just me.
No, he froze. He'll be back in a second. Sometimes that happens.
Your family and yourself,
See?
you have some sort of, so that you don't have that worry in the back of your head when you're over there trying to bang and trying to get a win in your house.
Yeah.
So you froze up there. We lost some of it, but you were telling him to make sure that you're basically playing for the future. Do the right things with your money and everything, and stack it up. Which is what I told him at the beginning of the show. You see, listen to a guy like Baboon, man. He'll tell you the real deal, because this game can spit you out just as quickly as it'll fucking take you in.
Yeah. I mean, no mistakes, man. No mistakes.
All right, Christian.
I appreciate that, brother.
Christian, my man, thanks for taking time. We did a full hour with you tonight, dude. I'm glad. I had
awesome.
time
Thank
with you.
you.
Sing song. Have a good one ready for the next time. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to say goodbye to him right now. He is 6-1 Titan FC fighter, Christian Ynastrilla.
Take care, guys.
Keep that name out there, guys. He's going to be doing big things. Keep an eye on him, follow him, and Christian, we'll talk to you soon. And now we're talking with this guy, man, and my history with this young man. He's not a young man anymore. I mean, he's younger than me, but he's not a young man anymore. He's a man's man. He the original XFC lightweight champion of the world. The good old XFC days, man. We had a lot of great fights and memories all across the country, and some international stuff that we did. So I'd like to welcome him. I believe this is the first time in the new version of my show I'm having him on. So please welcome Luis Baboon Palomino. Normally he had the red hair and the craziness going on. Hyped up and wild.
Braids, the long hair.
He was on
a
TV show, and he was fighting in the TV show on USA Network. What the fuck was that show that they filmed in Miami all the time?
TV show. I forgot. Graceland.
No.
Yeah, it was Graceland. I was on Graceland.
No, it was a different show. It was about the guy who used to be a CIA agent, and him and his girlfriend and his other buddy that was a FBI guy. They go out and help people that are. It's kind of like the A-Team minus the A-Team. You were on that show.
Yeah.
And a fight scene. What the fuck was the name of that show?
Say it again.
I can't remember the name of that show. I'm gonna have to fucking look.
I think it was Graceland. I'm not.
No. It wasn't Graceland. I promise you.
I don't remember, man. It was a little while back.
Yeah, I know. A few punches in the head, we forget shit sometimes.
Exactly. 100%.
So, all right, so let's get caught up with you, man. We've watched you travel around the world. I mean, you started here in Florida doing fights. You've been at the XFC. You fought everywhere. You fought at AKB overseas. World Series of Fighting, as I mentioned. 2 incredible fights with Justin Gaethje. And you stood there the whole fucking time eating what that guy was fucking shoveling out. And that's a testament to you, because you were throwing back. You weren't just eating punches. You were throwing back and you were tagging him. And he's that guy that'll stand there with you. And, well, he won't do it as much anymore. He said he's trying to not do that as much because,
Yeah, it was definitely a lot smarter in his last fight. He did well, man. He did great.
But fighting him, and some of the other great guys you fought. So let's get caught up on you. And now you're doing bare knuckle fighting, of course. But tell us, the transition, from the XFC to WSOF, fighting at AKB. Give us a little, get us caught up on everything leading up to where we are today, if you don't mind.
No, yeah, as far as MMA, I pushed it, as far as the wheel can fall. It's like I'm gonna ride this until the wheel falls off, right? And as far as like taking damage, I was mostly the one giving damage. So it's not like I'm like punch drunk or anything near that. If anything, I was improving in the end of my career.
Yep.
But the injuries, man, the injuries were not helping. I have in the same leg, I have a toe that doesn't bend, for the last 4 years, and in the same, it literally does not bend, so I can't like pivot on that toe without shoes on,
Right.
So like when I take the shoes off, it's like I'm just sliding. I can't defend takedowns, I can't shoot in, I can't turn my right hand properly. Like I can't put my body weight into my punches. And then in that same leg where the toe is, I call it a toe of hell, I have 2 torn ligaments. I have a PCL third-degree tear and an MCL partial tear. And I've been fighting like that for 4 years, So I went over there to Russia and I was fighting ACB, it was called. It's now called ACA.
Right.
And I'm fighting their top dogs over there in their home, with their judges. And I'm losing these decisions and it's hurting my record, and I'm losing these decisions to guys, like real close decisions, because I'm here boxing MMA fighters.
Yeah.
I can't perform at my full potential. Like when I have the wrestling shoes on and my knee brace on and I'm in anybody's gym, I'll give anybody a run for their money. And I don't care who they are and what weight class. I mean, under 170, of course, I'm not Superman, but 170s, 155ers, 145ers. I don't care what, if they're number 1, number 2 in the world, I'll give them a run for their money, But once I take those shoes off, it's like I don't have nothing. So that's what made more sense for bare knuckle. Like I'm like, man, I could put shoes back on, So that helped a lot with the grip on my punches and the turning and the footwork. So it was an easy transition for me once it came up.
Yeah, and doing the one thing that you love to do, punch a son of a gun in the face. I mean,
that's another thing. Like everybody already knows.
And you get to you get to use the clinch, like a half plum. As long as you're punching, they're not going to take it. So you need to incorporate some of the skills you worked on. But when you decided to do the BKFC, and you're doing it, bare knuckles, are you like practicing like hitting shit with your bare knuckles? I know some guys do. Some guys wait till fight night. They stay wrapped all the way up until fight night. Because they don't want to damage them. Because on fight night, this is all you got. Little padding up here, little padding here, but then it's this. So how do you prepare for that to get your hands tough enough, ready to where they're not going to get tore up?
I'm not gonna tell you the secrets, because even though it is ancient, it's very old. Not many people are onto it right now. So I'll tell you that in person. But okay. to answer your question. It's kind of like kicking, right? When you kick somebody and they check your kick chin to chin, right? It's gonna hurt. So you have to you have to condition that bone, right? You have to condition it.
Sure.
So it's the same thing with the bare knuckles. You have to condition those knuckles, because sometimes you're not gonna hit the flesh. Sometimes you're gonna hit the forehead. Sometimes you're gonna hit an elbow, and those injuries are gonna come in, and your hands are gonna swell up. Possible fractures, maybe a break. So you have to condition your knuckles for that, man. So I'm definitely doing work on that. That's for sure.
So you're fighting for the world title, or for the BKFC lightweight title. You're taking on a guy I know that because you can't be in that South Florida MMA scene and not run into you or Jim the Beast Dallers, who is now Jim the Bare Knuckle Beast Dallers, knocking fools out.
Yeah.
It was 10 years between knockouts when he had that first knockout at BKFC, from when he fought in the UFC, and then he came to bare knuckle, and boom.
Yep.
Now he's like he's a knockout artist, man. It's fucking crazy.
The beast. The bare knuckle beast for real. I know Jim Adams from way back. We were training partners. You guys
MMA masters together. So, that's what I'm saying. Now it's like, it's crazy.
Yeah. And he's more of a grappling background, grappling and wrestling. You didn't see much of his striking back then. But I sparred with him plenty times. Tough dude, man. Tough dude. He can eat some punches and walk forward like what's next.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, and he can hit. He's developed that. He I think he found a piece of himself that he wasn't in tune with in his MMA time. And I think the bare knuckle brought it out of him, brought that beast out of him. That not only is he a beast on the floor, he can be a beast on his feet as well. And I don't think he knew that until it came out, and he figured it out. He kind of found himself, and he's done great. 3 knockouts, 4 wins. More than deserving for a title shot. We knew we were going to see each other at the end of this tournament as the tournament started. But now the tournament's crashed out, and now we're set to go. He's an old friend of mine, but until this fight is not over, he's not my friend right now. You know what I mean? I don't want to say, no, Jim Adams is my enemy right now, but I'm not the type of person to be friendly with you when I'm about to fight with you.
Of course.
I'm going to hurt you.
Yeah,
you want to hurt me, and I'm going to hurt you.
Yeah, because Jim's coming to take your head off. I mean, so
exactly. So I know how Jim is. He's not that type of person. But I've had those type of people that try to be friendly with you and nice, and before a fight, like, no, man, I want to hurt you. Don't be so nice to me. I want to hurt you, and you want to hurt me. Let's keep it real. After the fight, we have a beer together and we celebrate. Talk about how it went.
When this fight was announced, I got excited. Because I know
the whole Florida got excited.
The world got excited. They know who you guys are, what you guys bring, and I can't even fathom what this is going to look like. Like, I'm not going to predict who's going to win. I'm not going to pick either of you. I'm just going to watch and hope that when it's all over, that you guys both are able to walk out of that bare knuckle ring and go have that beer, because that's all I care about. I mean, one of you is going to be the champion and one of you is not. But that's life.
Yep, that's it. That's what it's about. I mean, that's what makes this game so fun, right? We're both ready for it. Everybody knows that we can both. That he can bang, that I can bang. People know it already. We can stand in there, toe the line like they say in that square circle, and we, make the fans have the greatest night that they've had in a long time, because it's going to be pure action. Cuts, a lot of blood involved, and a vicious knockout to end the night with. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to watch it, to be honest. I'm just going to be like, it's two people I respect. I've announced both your names in companies I've worked for. I've been friends with you guys for so long, and even though it's business, as having personal relationships with some of you guys, it's hard, man.
It's a tough one. We have a lot of mutual friends, so I know exactly what you're talking about. We're both from Florida.
I'll be like this. I'll be like, just put on my blindfold.
Oh, come on, man! Don't put no bird box over here. You can't miss the action.
So, have you talked to Jim since the fight was booked?
We talk once in a while. We'll share messages here and there, but I haven't heard from him ever since I heard about the fight. And I think we know what's up. So I think that's the time to cut out communications and just get to work. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if he's watching right now because he knows you're coming on tonight, and he's coming on Wednesday night.
Okay.
So, and the one thing I don't expect from either of you, because of the friendship and the training partner relationship, is I don't expect either of you to talk shit.
Right.
I do expect both of you to say, I'm going to kick that guy's ass. That's not talking shit. That's what you're supposed to say. So.
No. I'll tell you. I've always been very confident with myself, and Jim is a very confident person himself. There's, like you said, there is no need to talk shit and downgrade on anybody. If anything, I uplift Jim, because that, in the end of the day, when I take this belt, solidifies how good I really am.
Right.
This guy is a beast. He hasn't been scratched over there. He's been knocking people out like a real beast that his name is. People are looking up to him. He's that bare knuckle champ right now in everybody's eyes. And I'm the one that just came in and just did a debut the other day. So even though people do follow me and know who I am, I have the proof who I really am in that square circle and take this belt. So
Yep.
I am going to win this fight. That's for sure. I
Yeah,
have to die
it's
not to
gonna
win
be
this fight.
crazy, man. But I love what David Feldman is doing. I love that guys like you are able to find a second career later in life because, like you said, you can't do MMA because you can't step on that fucking toe. You'll be sliding all over the place like a grease pig, and that's no good for being an MMA fighter if you can't, stop a takedown, all that. So, but you've always been an amazing striker. You bring lots of power. You come from different angles, and it's wow. I'm like I said when they announced this fight, I was like, oh my god. Do they know what they just fucking did? Palomino and Luis Palomino? Do they know what's about to happen? I don't think they know, but they're gonna see July 24th up in Oxford, Mississippi. I wish this fight was taking place in Miami or anywhere in Florida.
Oh man, I wish too. David really tried, man. I know he was out here really trying. He did everything he could, but with all these cases popping up, the worst thing that could have happened is we book it and then we get shut down for some reason.
Yeah, we can't have that happen.
No, we can't have that. So we'll go to the moon if we have to go and fight and make this fight happen.
I just BKFC on a boat, man. Go out to fucking international waters and beat the shit out of each other, man. There's no commission out there, Give everybody a corona test, when they get on the boat, test them during the week on the boat, and then go bare knuckle on a boat.
Deal. That's it.
Fucking do it. I mean, the UFC is doing an island, so I mean, fuck it, Bare knuckle on a boat. I'm on a boat. So how's the familia?
Good, very good, man. You want to see my girls? I got 3 girls.
Oh my god, that's right. You got a bunch of little ones.
Come on, girls. Come on.
That's like the hardest thing for a dad. That whole girl.
Look at these girls. Come here, girls. I just got back from training, so I don't mind. Come here. Say hi. There's one of them right there. Dulce. Come here. Oh, there's Medusa. Medusa, say hi. Say hi.
Hi, Medusa.
That's Dulce. Here's the mom. Dulce, come here. Say hi. Say hello. Say hello. These are my 3 American bully girls.
That's it right there, huh?
I'm gonna give them a chance to take over the interview.
All right. What about your human family?
Only my girlfriend home right now. My son is working.
How old's your son now?
Only my girlfriend here right now, but she's getting ready.
How old's your son now that he's working?
Man, my son is now 17 years old, 6'1", and can't take my shoes anymore from me.
Wow.
He outgrew me, so he can't be stealing my shoes anymore.
God, XFC, we started in 2006 and 2007. So, I saw your kid when he was like 3, 4, 5 years old, man. It's crazy how time flies. What's he doing for work? You got a good job? Is he making some money?
Yes, definitely.
Cool. Are you charging him rent?
Yes.
Fuck yeah, man. Learn him right.
He needs to learn. Yeah,
get him used to it.
He needs to learn what responsibility is, what a lease is, and how to build his credit and all that. That's what we're working on all that stuff with him right now.
That's good, man. Keep him prepared. And that's the best advice, like we were talking with Christian. Be prepared.
He doesn't know his money's going to his first car, but he doesn't know that.
First car, that's an important thing for a 17-year-old kid. You gotta you gotta go through that, man. So does he train? Does he want to be a fighter? Or is he going to be smarter than the rest of us?
He was, I trained him. He was very young, and he's very talented. He's very good, and he has power. He's a skinny kid, skinny tall kid, lanky, kind of like a Holloway body,
right?
And a lot of power behind his punches. Very talented with jiu-jitsu, but he just doesn't like fighting. It's not his thing,
That's all right.
And I'm not here to force anything. I just trained him so that he can be able to defend himself.
Yep.
But he's more into mechanical engineering. That's what he's going to school for. Yeah. Cool.
Tell him to make some big cheddar and start taking care of dad in the later years, man.
Exactly. Yeah, hey man, you want to do that? No problem. Let's go.
I think when a kid's born in the hospital, they take their footprints and everything. We should take that footprint and use it as a signature, and we should have a document made when the kid's born. Okay, young man or young lady, when you get to this age and your father or mother get to this age, you putting your footprint on this paper so that you will take care of them when they need it. You're going to take them, you're going to get them for vacations, you're going to buy them a couple of cars, you're going to take care of their medication. And then she was like 13 and go, by the way, you signed this with your foot when you were born. She'd be like, holy fuck, what? Yeah.
That's a good one.
All kinds of responsibility that way, man. Well, listen, man, I know you had a long day, so I don't want to keep you too long. And I appreciate you coming in from training. When I saw the fight, I had to reach out to you and get you on the show. And I might even set it up once before the show, before the fight, where I get you and Jim on together, man, just to, not necessarily talk shit to each other, but maybe to talk about each other a little bit, from back in the day.
I'm good with it.
Masters. Yeah. Separate rooms, of course. We don't want no, John Jones and DC going after each other, or Connor and Aldo stealing each other's belt kind of shit, But if he's down with it, I know you'll be down with it. So maybe we'll set something like that up. But, not to talk even about the fight, but just talk about the beginning for both you guys, because you guys are both kind of the beginning at the same time. Jim went to the UFC, you went a different round, and but you MMA Masters, and Josh, and there's so much. There's just so much to talk about. By the way, did you see the Josh special on UFC Fight Pass?
Yes, man, super cool.
My heart, man. I miss that guy all the time. I love him, man. One of the best human beings I've ever met.
Special man.
Wrote a book. Did it all, man. I mean,
I mean, it was hurting me, like only saying hi to me.
Say that again.
It was such a brute, man. He was like, come here, man. And hug me and just mess my whole hand up on my neck. I'm like, man, come on, you realize how big you are, bro?
Yeah, he gave me a few bear hugs. I thought he was gonna break my ribs. I mean,
yeah, man.
He squeezed the shit out of you.
Yeah, man, a brute.
It's like he's saying hello, and he's like, you're squeezing, and you're like, hey, Josh. Hey, Josh. I mean, but that's just because he loved everybody so much, man. He was such a good human being, man. Miss him every day. Well, listen, young man. I could say young man because you're younger than me, so I might be the only guy. I might be the only guy that can call you young man because you've been around for a while. But hats off to you for staying in the game and finding another avenue. This is a big fight. It's an important fight, and just for everything you've done with MMA. Helping Florida grow the sport because you're part of that. You're one of the legends down here. So, all that stuff, man. I mean, XP, like I say, our first title. I mean, that's history that nobody can take away. Just so proud to know you, man. I've watched you do so much, man. Last question, though. Are you going to bring back the red hair for the fight?
Say it again?
Are you going to bring back the red hair for fight night?
Not sure about that one, but I do have a little surprise.
Shit. I can't wait, dude.
Yeah, well, it'll be a nice one.
You enjoy your night. Thank you for taking time. Go get some rest and get some food in you, man. I know training, takes all that out of you, so you got to go do what you got to do. Love that you're pimping the 11 hat. That thing is dope. You don't know. Some people, if you're in Miami, 11. Some people up here, know 11. And if you don't know 11, you're missing the fuck out. I'm just going to say it right there. So, you go enjoy the rest of your night, Baboon. We appreciate you taking the time, man. And I'm going to try to set up a little get together with me, you, and Jim before you guys fight. And until then, man, be well, stay safe. God bless.
Likewise, brother. God bless you. Thank you.
All right, guys. That was Luis the Baboon Palomino. And there goes the green screen. I knew it was going to do it to me tonight, man. Well, it almost stayed. It's weird. But anyway, we're going to jump out here. Thanks for taking the time. I'd like to thank Christian Ynastrilla. I'll get it right. And Luis Palomino for taking time to join us tonight on Kate's Hour with Christopher James. Tomorrow night, Joseph Michael Creer, Bellator fighter, Bad Apple MMA, based up in a little north from here in Georgia. He's going to be on the show. And UFC fighter Kama Worthy is going to join us tomorrow night to talk about his big win against Luis Antonio Pena. On Wednesday night, we're going to talk with the Bare Knuckle Beast himself, Jim, the Bare Knuckle Beast Allers. And on Thursday night, I just confirmed with him, where is it? Justin Michael. He made his debut. Hit the microphone up. Made his debut with the UFC a couple of weeks ago. Stellar win. He's going to be joining us on the show Thursday night. And we're also chasing down Ian Heinisch. We're going to try to get him on Thursday night as well. And that's it. So, Charles Wilton, hey, how you doing, guys? Thanks for tuning in to Cave Talk with Christopher James. Thank you for letting me be a part of your life today and for you guys being a part of mine. Until next time, I'm Christopher James. You've been Cave Side. Peace. Good night.